Greetings everyone, this is IT2. Today we're going to be doing a T2 Book Club massive update review for the year 2022. Because I've been reading about a lot of books and I just haven't been making any videos a lot this year. So first I want to talk about how freaking hot it is right now. It is like 95 today, tomorrow, Friday. Maybe 90 or something on Saturday. And then it gets hotter again and it's like 98 most of next week. It's like I've got to mow my yard, and I went and got some groceries earlier, and I went shopping for some more books and stuff, and I had to get gas for my lawnmower, and this guy on a motorcycle was like, my dog was barking the other day. I went outside and this guy pushing his motorcycle because he ran out of gas. So I offered to take him to town and get some gas, and like now I'm using the same jug that I let him use, and now it's got a hole in it. So I don't know if he like filled his motorcycle up and then just stabbed it or something. There's a hole in my gas can that I was going to fill my lawnmower up with. But I was thinking about like mowing my yard now at 8 o'clock at night because it's starting to get dark, but I got a headlight on my mower, but it's still freaking hot. It's still like waves of heat just coming in the door when you open it. It's like, I don't know what to do. Other than that, I also bought a big desk. It should be here next Friday. It's like, like I've got this L-shaped desk I've kind of made out of an old desk and this piece of wood. It's on two filing cabinets. This is a U-shaped desk. It's like shaped like a U, like an L with an extra leg on it. So then I'm going to take this nice piece of wood here from I think I made a video when I was working on this piece of wood. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I was thinking about like redoing my whole basement, but I'd have to like get an electrician to do some stuff and like do some lighting down there and rewire my whole electrical panel box and stuff. And then do the floors and the walls and like some ceiling stuff. And I don't know, this table or this desk is going to be coming in because I'm really getting into this ADS-B plane spotting thing. I want to get into like day trading, learning how to do like stock trading and stuff and all kinds of stuff. I'm going to get a bunch of monitors. I'm going to have both of my computers like active at the same time, because with a U-shaped desk you can like have one computer over here and you just turn and you got your other setup over here. It's going to be fucking dope once I get it all set up, because now I got money coming in. I'm starting to spend money again. Like I'm spending it as fast as it's coming in. I still got to get a new phone to fly my drone. I don't know how to get good phones. Like, I'm on this T-Mobile network and it hardly works at work. It takes forever to connect. And I need like an unlimited data plan. But Verizon is like $70 or $80 a month. Unless you pay like for 4 people, then you get like a $10 off per line. Why would I need 4 phone lines? It's so stupid. Like, can't I just have one at that price? Anyway, I'm really also loving this zombie game, State of Decay 2. I recommend you guys get it. I think it's just co-op. I don't know about PvP in it, but it's really good. I'm also thinking about getting into like those realistic flight simulators where you got the actual joysticks and the throttle control things and the pedals, and you got a whole like a 3 monitor setup so you can look left and right out of the windows of the plane. Some of that shit looks pretty dope. And then VR eventually. I guess I'll try to get into the virtual reality shit. So anyway, let's go over some books. What do you want to do first? The ones I've been reading or the ones I bought? Let's go to Jim Butcher Battleground. I think I talked about that one. That's the last one of the Jim Butcher Dresden Files. I've talked about it a lot, so you already know how good it is. You should. This one's just as good as the other ones. And it's supposed to have been the last one, but he kind of hints around that he's going to be doing some other like prequels or like short stories in between stuff that happened in the series, so that's good. It's going to maybe continue on, and it was really awesome, so I read that. Elevation by Stephen King. This was one of my toilet books. This is one of the books I leave on top of my toilet when I'm taking a shit, because it was really thin, it was really short, and it was really good, but it was kind of weird. It's kind of like thinner, I guess, like a guy keeps losing weight. And you would think it would be like, oh, he's losing weight and he eventually like starts floating and flying off and shit. So you'd think it'd be like, oh, I'm going to turn this into a superpower or something, but it's not really about that at all. It's about like he has these neighbors that are lesbians, and like they kind of they thought he didn't like him at first because the dog was shitting in his yard or something, and then they straightened it out, and then he started inviting him over, and he's had these other friends, and he tells them about his weight loss problem. It's like he's not even just losing weight. Like, say he weighs 300 pounds and he's standing on a scale. If you give him like a 10-pound bowling ball, he still weighs 300 pounds, or it'd be like not 300 pounds, but like whatever a normal person would weigh. So like if he picks up something heavy, it just becomes light. It's weird, but Stephen King didn't really explore the meaning behind this or something. It's just kind of at the end of it, his friends are all watching him, and he just kind of floats off, and then that's it. But it was a kind of a good concept. It didn't really go anywhere, but I mean, check it out, I guess. I think it cost the same price as a regular book, though, which is kind of stupid. After that, I also read Christine. Stephen King. I had to get some tape because it was a really old copy. But it was a really good book. Did they ever make a movie on this? There's a ton of like old musical references, songs and stuff, and lyrics, and people listen to the radio. Like, if you think about like, sometimes I think about like if they made a Fallout type game in a different era than the what was the Fallout in like the 40s, 50s, 60s. Like there's a time like the hot rod greaser kind of a culture. It was kind of in between the 70s and the 60s or the 50s or whatever. So this is kind of like when this takes place. Back when everybody had like diners and hot rods and shit. But there's like this ghost in this guy sold his car, and his ghost was still inhabiting it and running people over and shit. That's pretty good though. And then last week I read this book, John Scalzi's Lock-In. Man, it was okay. It's kind of one of those like police kind of murder mystery. Not really a murder mystery, but like a police drama. But it's in the future where there's this disease that hits like a bunch of the population. It's called the Hayden syndrome. And they get locked into their bodies, so they have to like have like robots called threeps that they can inhabit, and they walk them around. And like this one guy, like a lot of stories involve the main character is always super rich, because it's a cheap way to allow them to do a lot of crazy shit without having to explain it. Like Batman, for example, or Richie Rich, or Tomb Raider, Lara Croft was rich. Like all those, there's a lot of stories like that where the main character has to be super wealthy. And this is one of those. So like his robot that he inhabits, because he's an FBI agent or CIA agent or something, it's always getting destroyed, so he has to like use his wealth to like get a new one. And it's okay. So then, my new toilet book was Robert Heinlein, Glory Road. And this was really freaking good. It's not that big, but it's a really good story about a guy who just kind of goes with the flow. And he ends up in another world with this hot chick and this guy who's kind of like her squire. And they go on a crazy mission to a tower with a crazy like dragon egg or something in it. And he has to like do all this kind of impossible stuff. And there's this whole... Like Robert Heinlein always has some weird sexual stuff happen to him. There's one part where he's at this guy who's like a Doral. He's kind of like a lord of this area. And they have this big banquet in his honor because the girl tells him that he's like this hero. Because they're not even on Earth anymore. They're in another plane of existence or some shit. And the guy wants him to sleep with his daughters. He has like 3 daughters, and he just picks whichever one he wants, or all of them. They don't care. But it's like, he decides not to sleep with them. So then the guy gets mad because he's insulted, and then he has to learn all these cultures of this whole new world. That's kind of what Robert Heinlein's like. He's always like introducing some kind of weird sexual shit that's like, it's pretty cool though. And then there's all kind of monsters and stuff he has to fight. It's just a really good book. And then Robert Heinlein, Job, A Comedy of Justice. I'm reading 2 Heinleins right now at the same time. I just started this one like yesterday, the day before. I'm already like halfway through it. It's fucking, you can't hardly put it down. It's so fucking good. This may be one of my favorite Heinleins of all time now. Oh my god, the story is like, it's like a multiverse traversing adventure. It's kind of like one of those kind of, it's like Forrest Gump or what a lot of those stories, it's like a bunch of wild shit just happens, like from one place to the next, and you keep getting oh brother, where art thou? That's kind of one of those kind of stories. It's like just crazy shit just keeps happening, and you just get knocked around the world, and just like stuff keeps fucking with you. Like Job from the Bible, the guy thinks God is fucking with him because he's like, it starts out he's on a cruise ship in the Peloponnesian Islands, and like the people there, they're doing that fire walking thing where they walk over hot coals, and his friends are like betting him that he won't do it, and he bets him like $300. He says, yeah, I'll do it. And he walks on the coast. He's like, well, it doesn't even hurt. And then all of a sudden he breathes in all this smoke, and he goes through and he passes out. He wakes up, and they're calling him by a different name, and like the people from the cruise have already left. So like they have to like take him back to his ship and give him his wallet back. And he said, oh, here's that $3,000 from that bet you won. He's like, I'd only bet $300, but that's weird. Then he gets to his ship, and his ship is like, instead of the motor vessel, the MV Kongi Canute, it's called the SS Kongi Canute, and it's painted different, so it's like a different ship, and like everything is kind of different. It's like a different universe, but it's slightly different. And like he comes from a really crazy Christian conservative kind of a world, and then this one, like the Peloponnesian dancers, he talks about them being like topless, like National Geographic, and then all the white chicks come out with their tits hanging out where they've been practicing the dance. So he's like, this is a totally different world than where I'm from. So like he falls in love with this girl Margaret, and then the ship kind of crashes like the Titanic. It hits an iceberg in the middle of the fucking Caribbean. There's no icebergs down there, and they get sucked out. And then when they come above the water, they realize they're in another world now, both of them, and the ship never existed. It's gone. So then they kind of float around. This is a whole big spoiler in the whole book, pretty much. They get picked up by the Mexican Coast Guard. They go to Mazatlan, and they realize they've been charged all these fees for rescuing them, and they're in debtor's prison, pretty much. They have to start washing dishes and working in this restaurant, which is fine because they're so in love with each other that they're just having a blast. And then this earthquake happens, and then like he's like, holy shit, that was a crazy earthquake. It like destroyed the whole city behind him. And then through the smoke clears, he's like, whoa, the city's back. And then there's an earthquake again. So like the first earthquake knocked him into another universe where the earthquake was just about to happen. So then the earthquake happens again. He's like, fuck, we're in another world again. So they get like sent to Arizona or somewhere in North America, I think. And that's about where I'm at now. It's like he keeps fucking with him. So he thinks like God or some kind of... See, his girlfriend's Danish. So they believe in like Loki and like the Viking gods and shit. So it's not really explained yet what's really going on. It's fucking good. I highly, highly recommend this book. But that's what's been going on with what I've been reading. So then I went to this bookstore that has really cheap books. And I was totally surprised to find James Corey, Leviathan Wakes, the first book of The Expanse, the TV show. There's like 8 or 9 of these suckers, and like the whole set's like $120. So I was thinking about getting it. $3. I got this for $3. I should have bought all of them and just sold them on Facebook or eBay or something. So I'm super psyched about this. I really like these paperbacks that are like big. This new style of making paperbacks, and this is one of those. Also, this next book is one of those. It's a Harlan Coben Runaway. I got this for $3 also. I don't really know much about Harlan Coben other than there's a lot of like movies on Netflix based on it, and someone I think recommended me Harlan Coben one time, so I was like, I don't even know what this is about. Some kind of mystery probably or something. So I got that. And I got this. This was in the kids book section. I got this for $3. Look how thick it is. And look at the cover. It's called Scrap City. It's about these 2 kids in a planet or something on a junkyard that has like this. It's like Wall-E vibes or something. But it's like, it's meant to be for kids? I mean, doesn't really look like it's really stiff, these pages. I don't know, maybe it's not as big as I thought it was because the paper's really thick. Anyway, they also had this kids kind of book that was about learning how to code. with Python. You can make your own video game about vampires and pizzas or something, but that was like $5 or $6, so I didn't get it, but I might go back and get it because I want to learn how to code. I got an app the other day that teaches you how to code, but it didn't really seem that good. And then I also got this Clive Cussler, The Oracle. This is a Sam and Remy Fargo adventure. I had read one of his Dirk Diggler, or Dirk, what's the other ones? Dirk something? No, there's a Dirk Cussler and there's a Dirk Pitt adventures. I read one of those. There's this whole list of them, but I don't recognize the one that I read on here. Sahara, that was a movie. Maybe it was written after this list was put on here? I don't know. I know I've read a Dirk Pitt book. He's also got like these Oregon Files, Isaac Bale Adventures, and Kurt Austin Adventures. This old man here, this is Clive Cussler. He like actually is supposed to be, he lived a life similar to the character in these like adventures about the Navy and like treasure hunting. It's kind of like those games. What are those games that are only on console? You know the ones. What are those games? Uncharted. It's like Uncharted. A lot of his books are like Uncharted. So, yeah. So I got all those books. I still got my whole little bookshelf over there full of Dean Koontz. And I got those dwarf books. Still got a few Scalzi. Got all those Brandon Andersons. I didn't really like that Mistborn, but I might try some of these other Brandon Sanderson books or get back into the Mistborn ones. I don't know. I like having a lot of options, though. Man, I really want to get this basement remodeled. I could have my bookshelf down in there. I want to make the room that has my central heat and air unit in it, make like that a reading room, because it's like a lot of white noise, I guess. You ever heard of this thing called brown noise? It's like a new TikTok trend right now, where people are saying it's cured their ADHD if you listen to brown noise. Look it up on YouTube. It's not the brown note, like the note that makes you shit your pants. It's like brown noise. And I've heard it in some movies, certain types of it. But it's supposed to be like this low amplitude frequency that like makes you focus or something. So people that have ADHD, it kind of soups them right in. What was that other? There's a trend going around right now that I was going to talk about. I can't remember. I'll have to make another video about it later. Anyway, I guess it's too dark to mow the yard now, so I'm going to probably get on State of Decay and stream. So, hopefully I'll be off the next couple of days. But, I need to get a new camera, too. That's another thing I need to buy. I need to get like a 4K camera. This quality, I realize, is real shit. Look at that. That's not... The YouTube videos I've been watching are way more clear than my camera is. And I want to get a Shure mic. Like a podcasting Shure brand mic. I want to just have my whole setup redone. It's going to be fucking sweet. I just don't really want it to be in this room because this chair wants to just like slide. I think the house is unlevel. So if I got it in the basement, maybe it would be flatter and it'd be cooler in the summer down there. Be quieter. There's no light coming in because there's no windows. I think it would be nice if I remodeled it. But then again, what would I do with this room then? I could get an actual bed. I don't want to sleep on the bed though. I got the drum set. I can make this like a VR room or something. Well, now I need another computer for that. Fuck, I don't know. Still thinking about stuff. Alright, I'll see you guys later.